This is a test we've never done before. Over here we have a Yamaha YZ500, and over here we have the legendary Kawasaki KX500. But which machine will be fastest in the hands of a pro racer? Let's find out. This is our pro rider friend Josh Spinks. He's already compared his YZ500 against a 454 stroke this year, because this season he's decided to race the big two-stroke against some of the fastest riders in the country. Round one didn't go quite according to plan. It was tough going out there on the YZ in the deep sands of Fat Cat's Motor Park. The day ended with a disappointing result, and we knew we needed to bounce back strong to keep the two-stroke dream alive. And that's exactly what Josh managed to do at our second race of the season. He came out swinging at Wake's Cone, had some awesome battles, and came away with second overall on the day. The smiles were well and truly back, but of course there was also still some room for improvement in a few different areas, which is partly why we are here today. Josh, it's been a couple of weeks since the last episode. We finished on a high podium result, but there were a few things at the end of the day that you were looking to improve on the bike or change on the bike. So since then, what has happened to the machine? What have you done to the machine? Just catch us up before we do this test today.
The biggest focus was the clutch and how stiff that thing was.
Yeah, we saw how heavy it was.
It was causing some problems, to say the least. So that was a priority. It's been up to Manchester Extreme for a couple of weeks since, and he's gone through that, and I cannot believe the feel of this thing in comparison now. So really excited about that. The other thing was just the suspension side, which wasn't far off. I basically got what I asked for from Carl, but with race conditions, a bit more speed, I just felt like it was a bit soft in areas that was causing some issues and a bit of instability. So far, without hopping on it at all, it's the clutch and the suspension that's different.
And then today then we're going to test this bike against the KX500, like I said in the intro, but there's also some other parts you want to test on this as well. So just tell us what else we're going to be looking at and testing today on the YZ.
Maybe a tiny bit of jetting, but mainly gearing. Just to try and get a little bit more. I feel like I just want to get over the gate a bit better, make the race a little bit easier, and that's going to be the test of today, is getting a little bit more power and moving it around with the gearing, I think.
What's next in the video is we're going to go out on track on the Kawasaki. Josh is going to set a hot lap on the KX, and that will be the time to beat today. And then we're just going to work spinning laps on this. Well, you are spinning laps on this, and then come in, change the part, go out again. But for the purpose of the video, I'll probably just play all the action in one go, and then at the end of the day, we'll break down those lap times. Sound good?
Sounds like a good afternoon.
Let's do it. Kawasaki KX500 is up first. Josh is about to cross the start-finish line here. The clock is on. Let's see what he can do on board the legendary Kawasaki. So as you can see from the number boards, this is Josh's own bike. He's put plenty of seat time on board this machine over the years, And it is worth noting that the front end is a little more modern. He's got some modern suspension up front there. He's letting the 500 feed up the hill here at VIP Motocross. We're about halfway through the lap now. It's been a smooth and steady ride for Josh so far on board the KX. The bike is sounding sweet out there, that's for sure. Only a handful of turns left in the lap now. Josh is looking super comfortable on board the Kawasaki, as we said. Spent some decent time on this machine over the years, but not so much recently. He's been very focused on the Yamaha. The track is a little bit tricky today. We're at the end of a practice session, a practice day. Through the final turn goes Josh. On the gas, up and over the finish line he goes. That's a lap in the books on board the Kawasaki. I just need to say a big thank you to our friends over at Seat Concepts. Both of these machines here, Kong and the Black Panther, are rocking the Seat Concept seat, and I absolutely love them. You can get a Seat Concept seat for your motocross bike, enduro bike, even your adventure bike in different shapes, colours and sizes. They're handcrafted in the USA and shipped worldwide. I've left a link in the description down below so you can check them out. You can also get 15% off if you use our discount code 999laser. As always, a huge thanks goes to Seat Concepts for supporting the channel and providing the comfiest seat in the house.
You draw some fuel through.
Now it's time to find out how the YZ500 compares. We spent some time testing a few different parts here today, and we're about to watch Josh's fastest lap of the afternoon on board the Yamaha. Let's do this. Bikes do sound a little different, but they're both sounding pretty sweet to me. Obviously Josh's YZ500 here makes use of the BRC YZM500 conversion kit, and the bike will feel more like a modern machine all round. Sounding sweet up the hill. What do you think, guys? How are the laps comparing so far? Let me know your guesses, your predictions of the lap times in the comments down below. We're past the halfway mark in the lap now. And once again, it's been a smooth ride for Josh on board the YZ500. Oh, throwing it a little sideways over the jump there. Obviously feeling comfortable on board the Yamaha here today. There's 2 turns left in the lap. Josh takes it cautious through the penultimate turn there, and then lets it rip around the big sweeper into the final turn. the gas. Over the finish line he goes. Right, so we've got some lap times in the bag then. Before we reveal those, let's just have a little chat about both bikes. Compare both bikes for us, Josh. What does it feel like jumping from this old beast to a more modern 500?
It's completely different in every single way, which is great. I like that. I like adapting to different things. It's close to 30 years old, and you feel that. It's got a modern front end on it, slightly modern, more front end.
We haven't mentioned that actually, yeah.
But the dip in the seat, the way that you sit so low into the bike, you feel like a couple of inches lower in the seat when you're turning. Not always a good thing. The front brake's good, the back brake's not amazing. It vibrates so crazy. This thing is zero vibration. That's always been really impressive with this bike. Hardly anything through the hands, that's just all of it. So you feel that. Engine-wise, interesting. Kind of what I had in mind anyway. This is like, not in a bad way, it's quite diluted. That is the way I would say it. It's like, it's usable. I can be really quite aggressive on this bike, which I wouldn't expect. I can't be aggressive on that thing, and that's the bottom line. Some areas I like that there's almost too much. This is good to be able to use all the power, but sometimes you're thinking, could I have a little bit more against, like the 450s? But that was what jumped out the most, the difference with the characteristics of the engine, the gears you're using, completely different. Yeah, like night and day. So that took me a little bit by surprise.
Yeah, we actually looked at the crossbox data and we looked at top speed on this straight here, the fastest straight on the track. You were about a couple of miles an hour quicker down the straight on the KX500 compared to the YZ. It's just interesting to look at that. But like you say, that's more usable. You can crack on the throttle a bit harder out of the turns.
Yeah.
How different does this bike feel to the last time you raced it at Wakes Cone after that work that's been done to it?
Suspension is, I'm one of those riders where it takes me a bit, I'm going to measure the sag and do a few bits. So I went out and I just thought, this is high on the back. And I don't know if the sag's changed. I don't think it has. I just think it's the way it's sitting in the stroke. It needs to be stiffer. It is stiffer. It's making the front end dip quite a lot. So I'm just going to drop the sag, look at the clickers, balance that out a little bit. So that jumped out, but a noticeable difference. The clutch, I should have started with that actually. Unbelievable, absolutely unbelievable. Similar to a 125 feel now. Probably lighter than a 252 stroke, and it's like, how do you physically go from something that took, I think it was 14 kilos, probably more, might have been 16 kilos of pressure. We tested that. We tested that, and everyone's pulling it in and saying, what's this? That's unusable, this, that, and the other. So something from 14 kilos, it'd be good to test this, because I think this is probably down to 6, 5. And it's like that comfort, and my arms haven't been a problem today as such. So that's the biggest difference, is that I can modulate the clutch, use it exactly when I need to fire this into life a little bit more. That's unbelievable.
And that's in 3 lap stints today. Imagine that in a full 25 minute race, right?
Well, we've been joking through the week a little bit. It's like, imagine every corner you're just lifting a travel bag. Do you know what I mean? Almost like a suitcase.
With one finger.
Trying, and then ending up with 2, but repping those, kilos in your hand every corner is not going to feel great.
Yeah, that adds up.
I think we're back to standard springs, standard clutch, slight modification on the, I think it's called the activation arm, something like that I don't know a great deal about, but the angle's changed, it feels much better. I can't talk more about that anymore, about that clutch. It's unbelievable. Cool.
Right, so let's have a look at the lap times then. The moment of truth. Fastest lap time on the Kawasaki KX500 today around VIP motocross. It's pretty rough and rugged out there at the end of a practice day, so real lines, real situation. Not like a room track like I usually do my tests on. It's a real rider right here. Fastest time on this, a 1:27.20.
1:27.20, yeah.
Right. And then straight away on the YZ 500, your fastest lap on that, a 1:27.13. So close.
This seems to be the theme of our shootouts, doesn't it?
Well, it's you. I think you're just the most consistent rider that's ever walked the face of the earth.
That is a bit of a shocker.
Like we said earlier, you're getting
straight line speed.
Straight line speed on this.
Yeah, all day long.
But around this track doesn't really make that much difference, obviously.
No, that's
the
right.
usability of that, It levels out.
100%. Other than the forks, it's 30 years old nearly. You know, the chassis, the flex of it all, it is a bit of an antique.
Yeah.
So that's why I'm quite surprised how close that was. Yeah.
Sounds like Kawasaki knew what they were doing in the 80s. Thanks for watching, guys. As always, my name's Max. Big thanks to Josh, to Mike, to Curtis, to everyone that's helping with this project. It's been fun so far, and there's still more fun to come. So be sure to subscribe. Till next time, we'll see you at the track.